Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in. Welcome back to Alisa's Adventures in Cruising. I am Alisa, and I am back this Wednesday for another episode in the live team collaboration group with with Team Build with Geo. And I can't believe it's already the third week of June. Wow, time is flying by. Maybe that's just me. But summer is here. Summer is here. Thanks so much for coming in. If you could please hit the like button as you come in. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. It doesn't cost you a thing, and it would really help me out, especially with this YouTube algorithm. I would appreciate it. Thanks so much for coming in, Jaden. I see you there. I am going to talk about, well, first, let me say again, thank you for coming in. But this past week has definitely been a cruising adventure. I don't know if you guys follow the cruise news and follow that there was a new ship that set sail out of Tampa this week. Let me see if I can move that so I can see your chats better. That's better. Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for coming in. There was a new cruise ship that was sailing out of the port of Tampa this past week, and that's the Margaritaville at Sea. It's a new cruise line, and they have a new ship. It's not a brand new ship, but it's new to them. So they've already had a ship called the Paradise that was sailing, and then just going out on their inaugural cruise is a ship called the Islander with them. And I happen to, thanks so much for subscribing, Nancy. I appreciate it. I had some friends who were going out on that cruise, and they decided to have a meetup in Tampa, so that you can say hi to everybody, all these people that you're talking to online all the time, get a chance to actually meet and hear about what they're up to, and wish them a bon voyage as they were heading out on this cruise ship. So I went over, I did that, met a bunch of great channels. I'll try to put all of the names in the description here if you guys want to go back to follow. But there was Life with V, there was Edna's World, Controversial Cruising, Warm Strong Adventures. Who else was there? Destination Fun, Sea Lake Journeys. I know I'm forgetting somebody. The Naughty Cruiser. Anyway, there were about 10. Myself, there were about 10 travel channels that were there, and everybody got to meet up, and it was really a lot of fun. And so half of us were just curious and wanting to meet each other, but most of us wanted to, wow, great meetup, thank you. We're curious about Margaritaville at Sea. We're curious about cruises in general and cruise ships in general, but that is a new one on the scene, and everybody wanted to talk about it, hear about it, and all of that. So anyway, it was a great meetup. And then next week for me is going to be sort of the ultimate cruise adventure, because I get to head out on my own cruise. I am cruising to Alaska, flying from Florida out to Seattle, to board the Carnival Spirit, heading up to Alaska. So I got to finish my packing. I gotta I gotta get ready. Hey, MH Family Adventures, thanks so much for coming in. I appreciate it. MH Family Adventures was on that cruise as well. So there, I was going to say, this is definitely, I mean, you can cruise year round, but cruising is now hitting its season. Summer is high season for cruising. Obviously, families are going out and cruising, and because the kids are out of the summer, teachers are out off work as well, and it's a good time to cruise. The weather is normally great. But I was going to tell you guys, especially if we have some folks who are not used to cruising, or who are thinking about it. Hey, Warmstrong, who are thinking about it and wanting to. I get questions all the time. I'm not a travel agent, but I get questions all the time about, what you should do for if you're heading out on your first cruise. And so I thought I would kind of go through what I think are kind of common questions, and in the hopes that that will help you as you're planning, or you're thinking about it and maybe going to plan something for next summer. You kind of have an idea of some things. So the first thing is, and I see some travel agent friends in the chat, so feel free to jump in there, is does it cost a lot to use a travel agent, to book your cruise through a travel agent? I think I've mentioned this before on this channel, but the short answer is no. If you are booking your cruise through a travel agent, there is not going to be an extra cost to you. That's the caveat, though. You're booking with that travel agent, so the travel agent is going to receive a commission. They're going to recoup their costs through the cruise line, the hotel, the airline, that they're booking through. You do not have to pay an extra charge to the travel agent, adding to the cost of your trip. And the benefit for you, obviously, is that you get all of their expertise. And my brother's a travel agent. He's always traveling. Yeah, good for him. Good for him. Go, you go. You get the benefit of all their expertise, all their knowledge, all of their hints and tips and tricks on working with these different travel companies, the different cruise lines, and you benefit from that knowledge. And they're not going to steer you wrong. They're obviously are going to want you to go and have a great time and to be a long time client and book with them again. So if at all possible, I know we can all go online and we can find different websites, but you're not necessarily getting the best deal just by clicking on one of those websites. The travel agents, because they have established relationships with these companies, get even better deals, get even more perks that they can then share on to you, their client. But like I said, the caveat is that as much information as they are willing to share with you and give to you and help you to plan out your cruise or whatever vacation it is, if it's a land package that you're going to book with them. You can't call them up and have them plan it all out for you and then you just say, okay, see you later, I'll go and book this now all myself online. No. You're getting the benefit of booking through them. So if you know a travel agent, use the travel agent. Let them help you out, help you plan a fabulous trip. So assuming that you all get onto your cruise, you talked with the people who know, you got it all booked, you know what you're doing, you know what ship, you know what the itinerary is, all that. Now you're going to get onto the cruise ship. And another question that people ask a lot is about the muster drill. Now, the muster drill is basically the safety drill for the ship. So, and I'm saying muster, MUSTER, and I'm spelling that out just because sometimes people are not sure of the word. It's not one we normally use in everyday conversation, and they think maybe we're saying mustard, like as in ketchup and mustard. But no, it's a muster drill because you are reporting to what is called a muster station. That is the station that your lifeboat, in the event that there was a major emergency and you had to evacuate the ship, that station is called a muster station. And so the drill, the safety drill, is called a muster drill. And people want to know if they have seen it before online, or if they watched the video, or if they've cruised before, if they have to go to the muster drill again. Yes. Every time you board a cruise ship to sail off, they're going to do a muster drill, and you are required to attend it. each and every time. It's kind of like if you've taken an airplane and the stewardess have to go through, the flight attendants have to go through that safety drill every time, showing you the seat belt, showing you the exits, showing you the oxygen mask. It's the same thing. You have to go to the muster drill. I hate that. I hate that drill. Come on, Marlene. It's not that bad. Hey, controversial cruising. Thanks for coming in. Hey, Mike T Ranger. Thanks. But over the years, and really since the pandemic, the muster drill has kind of evolved. So I don't know when the last time was that you cruised, Marlene, or which cruise line you went on. But when I'm going to show you guys a picture of my very first cruise and what the muster drill looked like, I look back on it now and think, huh, that's different. But now the muster drill is usually a combination of what is called an e-muster. Excuse me. So you are, hey, Etta, hey, Warmstrong. I don't know if I said hi already. You are watching some form of a video either on the cruise ship app or on the television in your cabin, and then reporting to the actual designated spot, the muster station, for them to for the crew to check you in and have proof that you, one, know how to find your life jacket and how to put it on, and where you would need to go to board a lifeboat. Yeah, it's not the most exciting. It's not the most exciting thing, but it's one of those things that, like, go do it as soon as you can and get it over with, so then you can go on and have some fun. But the cruise ship cannot pull off until the muster drill is completed, and that was a big thing, like, as when they started doing the e-muster with the after the shutdown or after the restart of cruising because of the pandemic. People were kind of leisurely like, I don't have to go to that. I don't have to go to that. Well, you have to go to that. You have to go to that, or they start calling you out by name and by cabin number until they make sure everyone has gotten there and has checked in and done the drill. So anyway, I'm just going to show you, and you guys can, Marlene, you might like appreciate now that maybe that muster drill is looking like a little more safe than what my reminiscing does now. Okay, so this was the very first cruise that I ever went on, and for those of you who will remember the big red boat, this was the big red boat. It doesn't look that big anymore, but it was the big red boat. It was the ship, or the company that started partnering with Walt Disney World before they had their cruise line, and you basically could do a week-long combination of, I think we did a 4-day sailing and then a 3 days at Disney. So that, that was your vacation, right? It was great. It was fun. Disney characters were on the ship. It was a great time. Okay. But now to the muster drill. This is me at the muster drill. So not only did you have to go to the muster station, you had to put on the life jacket. You had to stand out on the deck. I felt like it took an hour. It took a long time. If you board a ship here in Florida, it's hot. So imagine the summer. I do believe this was August. We're in the summer. We're in the heat on the deck waiting for our muster drill, and they would not clear it until literally everyone was in their proper space. And this was before, now everything is digital, but they were going through and they were checking you off and accounting for each cabin on paper. So not only did those sheets have to be tallied, everybody everybody's sheet at a muster drill had to be tallied and make sure that everyone was accounted for, so that you knew what to do in an event of an emergency. And okay, and this is the last thing about the muster drill. This was not actual the muster drill, but this was the emergency lifeboat. And we're like, hey, what's he doing in there? So we just took a picture. But now looking at that, I'm thinking, it looks a little old fashioned compared to what they have now. Hey, Etta. I love flashback pics. Yeah, the flashbacks. Obviously, it was a good time and it started me on my love of cruising. But when you look back on it now, it's a little different. So don't complain about the muster drill, especially if it's an e-muster. Go watch the video, go and check in at your station, and then get ready to hit the fun. Aren't you just the cutest little lady? Oh yeah, I felt like I was big time. You know, I had a Swatch watch on and everything. Okay, that's a whole other story. That's a whole other story. So yes, you must go to the muster drill. Another question that I get a lot is, do you have to pay extra to eat in the main dining room or at the buffet? The answer is no, you do not. That is included in your base cruise fare. The main dining room normally will have assigned times for you to report to them. You can choose an early dinner or a late dinner, depending on the cruise line, except for what is it, NCL. I think they all automatically do the freestyle. You go anytime between the meal times and be seated and eat. And then the buffet, same thing. There's no charge for that. Now, if you go on Carnival, and I believe Royal Caribbean is doing a similar thing, it used to be sort of unlimited. You could get as much as you wanted at the main dining room as far as entrees, but they have started in recent years, sort of limiting that. The first couple of entrees are free. You still can get as many appetizers and soups and salads and all of that as you like. But if you order more than, I want to say if you order 3 or more, then there is a small charge. But for the most part, that is all included in your cruise fare. If you want to, of course, you can add on. You can go to specialty dining restaurants. That would be the steakhouses, the sushi restaurants. I'm trying to think what else. You know, if there's a hibachi grill, sometimes they have specialty seafood restaurants. So those kinds of things would be an upcharge. But the main dining room, breakfast, lunch, and dinner is served, and you go and you sit down at the table and be waited on by the staff. That's my favorite part. I feel like I'm on vacation, and there is no charge for that. But in going to I really like going to the main dining room, and I like getting dressed up and getting dressed for dinner. But I know everybody doesn't like that. But in the event that you choose to go to the main dining room, be aware of the fact that there is a dress code for the dining room. They're not singling anybody out if they ask you to, not come in your swimwear. If you have on, a cutoff t-shirt or just your bathing suit top, like you have to, not just your bathing suit top, you know what I mean? you do need to be dressed for dinner. Most cruises have a formal night or an elegant night, and then people are really dressed up. But otherwise, they refer to it as sort of resort casual. So you don't have to go out and buy a brand new wardrobe, but just go to the dining room, dressed as though you were going out to dinner, not in your flip-flops and cutoffs that you were just there at the pool. Just saying, because sometimes people think it's personal that they were turned away or asked for gentlemen to go and get a jacket, or for ladies to not have on flip flops. It's not. They have a code. It is printed. We don't like to look. We don't like to read through the manual, but it's all there. It's all there. Another question that I get a lot is, do you have to buy a drink package? That's kind of a you that's a yes and no. A no and a yes, maybe. No, you don't have to buy a drink package, but along with going to the main dining room or the buffet, what's included is normally, as far as drinks, is coffee, tea, iced tea. There's usually some kind of a fruit drink or a punch that is there in the fountains. But any of your soft drinks, so any sodas, if you're into, I don't know, Gatorade or Monsters or any of that kind of stuff that they might have, those would be things that you would be charged for. And of course, if you're buying a drink, a cocktail or a mocktail, that is going to be something that you're going to be charged for. A milkshake, those would things that would be included in a drink package. But if you don't have the drink package, you certainly can order them and pay for them a la carte. So you don't have to have the drink package. But if that's something that's important to you, if you drink a lot of soda, if you can't go, a week without your whatever it is your favorite drink is, and you think you're going to have so many, you might want to buy a drink package. There are a couple of different ones, again, depending on the cruise line. Some of them have something that's called like a bubbles package, and that might be the exact name from Carnival. I'm trying to think of it as I'm talking. A bubbles package, which would basically be your soft drinks, and then there's another level that would include soft drinks and mocktails, maybe milkshakes, and then there's another level that would include alcohol, drinks with alcohol, and then everything else under that. So if you cruise solo and you're the only adult in the cabin, you don't have to buy a drink package unless you think you're going to be drinking so much or that you want to make sure that it's all covered. If you are cruising with other people, other adults, and one of them chooses to get an alcohol drink package, then you would have to purchase it also in that cabin, because obviously they don't want you just sharing the drink package. It's a per person, per day kind of charge, and you would want to have that. Again, this is dependent on your personal situation, your personal preference on what you like to do, or how you like to spend your cruise. If you want to have the drink package, have the drink package, but you don't have to get it. If that's not something that you think is going to be worth it to you in the long run. Now, back to what I was saying about my first cruise. I remember those first cruises that I took, seeing plenty of people come down to what's now the guest services desk and be astonished at their bill because of how much they did spend on the drinks, and and have to pay for that, because you lose count after a while of how many you ordered and how much they cost. So those quickly can add up. The drink packages sort of came as a solution to that, so that people knew exactly what they were going to be spending, or they had already prepaid that amount, so they could sort of have more of a carefree experience and not have to worry about it. But I think it's unfair if you have a person that don't drink and a person that do drink. Yeah, that's kind of one of those. You guys gotta work that out. Either you're both all in, or they won't let you split it. If you're in the cabin together, all the adults in the cabin would have to go ahead and purchase the drink package if that's what you want. So I know. Sorry about that, Sylvia. So anyway, that's the drink package. And the last thing that I was gonna mention is the gratuities. I probably should not have saved that for last because that kind of gets a little complicated. The gratuities or the tips um, that are paid to the crew are not or they're the same across the board for everybody is what I was trying to get at. I've also seen people sort of be offended or caught by surprise, not realizing that those charges are applied to everyone. If you don't prepay your gratuities, they do appear on your account daily, and they. I don't want to say you cannot have them taken off. It is not easy to have them taken off, and to be honest, I wouldn't do that. I feel like the crew works so hard, and it's kind of like restaurants in that they make a small wage, and then they make so much of their pay based on the tips that we do. It's customary. Maybe it's not the best system, but it is the system, and don't think you're being singled out or that you're being overcharged or that it's something that you should take at all personal. It's not. It's not personal at all. It is an across the board charge. Again, back when the first cruise that I went on. Hey, Team Reach Travels, thanks so much for coming in. First started cruising, there used to be a system of envelopes. They would leave a set of envelopes for you in your cabin, and they would be addressed to various people. Excuse me. They would be addressed to the cabin attendant, to the head waiter, to the maitre d', to all of these people, and then you would put whatever your tip was, and you would hand out the envelopes. Well, now that everything has gotten digitized, everything has gone digital. It's moved more towards this automatic charge going onto your bill, and then those tips are then broken down and given out to the crew members in a fashion that is similar, but people worry that the folks don't actually get the tips, and from all accounts, they get the tips. Sylvie says, I had my removed and gave my person cash because divided the total tips is split among everyone. Yeah, they are split amongst all of the people that you would possibly have in contact with, but I don't know the exact percentages. I think it varies from cruise line to cruise line. So even though you're giving your tip to your cabin steward, that doesn't mean that there weren't 5 other people who helped get that cabin together for you or helped get the meals together for you. Or so anyway, that is just the way it is with cruising. The tips are a real thing, and like I said, I think it's very difficult now, more so now, to have them removed. If you have a problem with your room, you should definitely be letting the cabin steward know, or alerting it to the hotel manager at that point. So I think I'm about out of time, and I see Gio has already dropped the link for Design with Emma, who's up next at 6:30. But just as I'm closing out, just to give you guys an idea of what the daily charges are for the gratuities, on Carnival, it's $16 per person per day. For Disney, it's $14.50 per person per day. And on Royal Caribbean, it is $16 per person per day. So those do add up. And if you are not able to prepay them, just be aware that it's going to appear on your bill every day. So anyway, I hope you guys do have cruises planned this summer, or you're planning a cruise for next summer, and that those things will help you to keep in mind as you head out onto the seas. So hopefully I will see you guys around. Thanks so much for coming in. If you haven't already, please hit the like button. And if you were just listening, go ahead and subscribe. Thanks so much. And thank you, Gio, for having me be a part of this live collaboration team. I really appreciate it. Bye, everybody. See you next time.